So, like the rest of the world today, I was shocked and dismayed at the recent developments in the Casey Anthony trial. I mean, it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on in the world? I mean, isn't this obvious? Like, how did that even, like, how does this happen? And before you start weighing in the comments, it wasn't really the verdict that had me all flustered and confused today. It really had nothing to do with the verdict. At the risk of sounding cold and calloused and detached and inhumane, I really don't care. I don't care who killed Casey Anthony's little daughter. I don't care if it was her. I don't care if it was somebody that never gets brought to justice. I don't care if she did it in cold blood and then partied all night and then gets off scot-free and rides her, celebrity for the next 40 or 50 years. I don't give two shits and a fuck. There's not room in me to care about something worthless like that. I'm full. I'm full up of things to care about. I'm full up of things like the fact that there are thousands, tens of thousands of people in this country. A lot of them very hardworking people that have always tried to do right by their families, who haven't had a square meal in a week. Just starving to death. Here, in America. We're not even going overseas with this shit, folks. We're not going to Nigeria. We're not going to Guatemala. We're not going to some fucking banana republic somewhere. We're not even breaking the maritime border of the United States of America. It's here. People are starving to death. There are people dying of preventable illnesses. Here, in this country where we're constantly told that we have the best health care in the world, there are people dying for want of insulin for their fucking diabetes. Okay? There are people suffering their way through a broken leg without medical attention because they don't know where they would get the money to pay the hospital bill to have that bone set. All right? And a lot of people can't afford to have their medical problems looked at because they recently lost their jobs in the huge economic downturn in this country. A huge economic downturn that was engineered by a small but powerful group of Wall Street investment bankers and CEOs, these self-proclaimed masters of the financial universe, right? Whose greed and self-interest and desire to subvert our democracy with their fucking money superseded the homes, the life savings, the self-respect, the physical and mental well-being of everybody else in this fucking country. You know where those people are tonight? Are they shivering under a fucking bridge somewhere, wondering how they got there? Wondering where their fucking home went? Wondering where their decent job went? Are they sitting there suffering with an appendix that's about to burst in a fucking emergency room, a crowded-ass fucking emergency room somewhere, and not worried about whether or not they're going to die, but worried about if they're going to leave their family with an $80,000 medical bill that they can't pay? Is that where those guys are? Is that where those guys who fucking created this mess are? No. No. Those guys are lounging tonight. Those guys are sitting in their Park Avenue penthouses, in their giant fucking mansions, sipping on a pina colada, laying on their Tempur-Pedic mattress, fucking just getting a foot rub from their live-in fucking servant. With all that shit going on, how do I devote a second of my time to this bullshit, pointless, worthless, useless fucking trial? Or even better, on the front page of CNN today, okay, Kim Kardashian weighs in on the Casey Anthony trial via Twitter. There are people out there that give a fuck about Kim Kardashian. There are people out there that care what that fucking bubble butt, empty-headed bitch thinks about anything. There are people out there that would give two shits and a fuck if she just keeled over and croaked, or she bent over and shot fireworks out of her ass. There are people that would tune in. There are people that care. That's a major national news story in a country that's fucking falling apart. That's what our news media is covering. That's what the people in this country are demanding that the news media cover. That's what we want to hear about. We want to hear about a trial where if Casey Anthony was a less attractive minority woman, if she was a Mexican woman or a black woman, not only would we not even see anything about it on TV, it wouldn't even have made the local newspaper. It might have been a blurb on the last page of the Bumblefuck Gazette. Okay? But because she's a pretty, fresh white girl, and her little daughter was a cute little white girl, suddenly everybody's wringing their hands in concern over this empty fucking bullshit. Oh, Paul, you're so depressing, Paul. I mean, like, why does every video you make have to be this? Why do you have to harp about the same shit? Don't we get a break? I mean, everybody worries about stuff, but can't we take a little break and be distracted by things? Sure, you can take a break and be distracted by things. You personally can take a break. Take a break. The problem is that we, as a nation, have been on a fucking break. We've been on a break for the last 30 or 40 fucking years. Okay? And it doesn't look like the break whistle is blowing anytime soon. It doesn't look like anybody's coming back from break. Okay, so if you want to reduce it to your own personal need for a little cool down time, and if you think that's what I'm talking about, the fact that you played a little video game today, then you're missing the fucking point. Okay? Nobody gets a break from this. Nobody gets a break. And the less petty distraction that we have, the less care, the less mental energy that we spend towards shit that's meaningless, the better. That's what I'm getting at. And no, if you're watching me, you don't get a break. You want a break? Stop watching me. Stop watching me. Because I can't turn my brain off. Today, TJ made a video on his TJ Does Life channel. Where he talks about his depression and how he got over his depression. And I'm paraphrasing badly here probably, but he said, one day, and he doesn't know if it was conscious or subconscious or what, but one day he just decided, fuck it. Fuck the world. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what happens to the world. And it just went within himself and looked within himself. Well, I applaud his ability to do that. I can't. I don't know how to do that. Okay? As cynical as I try and paint myself, and as cynical as most of my audience thinks that I am, I'm not half the cynic I try and make myself appear. Okay? I care about people. I care. I give a fuck. And I just wish that people cared as much about themselves. And not just, where they're going to go eat or what they're going to watch on TV, but cared about their future and their children's future and their children's future. I care. I care what happens after I'm dead and gone. I can't just divest myself from the culture I was born into. I can't just remove myself from the country I was born into. I can't just keep at arm's length the suffering of my fellow man. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. So if you want to break from it, you're going to have to stop watching me. Okay? You want to break from it? Stop watching me, because the guy that hasn't had a square meal in a week, he doesn't get a break. The little kid that was born to two parents that don't give a fuck about it, two people that just fucked and procreated and brought a life into this world that they have no intention of taking care of, that little kid doesn't get a break. Okay? The person, fucking sitting in his house right now, nursing triple fucking pneumonia and not wanting to go and see his doctor, the person who's lost everything, his self-respect, lost his will to live because the economy took a dump and he lost his job, those people don't get a break. They don't get a break. They don't get a break for petty bullshit like this. Okay, they don't get to sit in their fucking living room and flick the TV on and listen to what Kim Kardashian has to say about a trial that doesn't affect you one fucking iota. Who cares about this bullshit, man? I hope everybody has a fantastic day tomorrow. It's filled with sunshine and lollipops and positive thoughts. And God, I hope another trial starts up. I hope another white girl gets abducted, a pretty one. Not a fat one, but like a nice, pretty, young, 20-something white girl gets abducted or drives her car into a lake with her kids in the backseat. I really hope so. I hope your day's filled with shit like that. I really do. Till next time.